Blake Wally, the New American Media. I am here in FDR Park in Philadelphia talking to some of the people out here gathering in support of Bernie or against the DNC, watching the implosion take place. So I wanted to ask, why do you think Bernie endorsed Hillary?
I think he did it because they probably threatened him with something. I don't know what, but I mean, you could tell from his endorsement, it wasn't the most enthusiastic thing ever. It was more like he was doing it because it's like he had to.
What do you think about Bernie endorsing Hillary?
Well, at first it was like, oh my God, did he drop out just now? Did he concede to her? Because the wording he used was really like kind of muddy. And then after a little bit, after like about 24 hours, I was like, okay, maybe not, because he didn't hand over any lists or whatnot. But other than that, it kind of upset me, but I expected it at the same time. I didn't think it would be as bad as it was, though. I will say that.
Well, Hillary is not a real Democrat, and she pushes for things that are much more on the right side of things than Bernie. She is still a Democrat and therefore accepts certain truths that the Republicans completely deny, such as, global warming and the fact that, some things are wrong with the country as opposed to, just different priorities. And so even just having a Democrat in the office where she's pushed to have a Democratic agenda is better than having, someone like Trump who just, oblivious in their little bubble.
Okay, so you think that the Bernie people should join the dark side with Hillary instead of taking Trump or a third party?
No, I think we should go to the third party. The founding fathers never wanted us to have two-party system because they knew that it would be easier to corrupt.
Why do you think Bernie endorsed Hillary?
He was forced to.
So you think he was bribed or maybe threatened?
Threatened is what I think, or if he really could, he wanted to give a speech. I don't know. I wouldn't have done it.
No, I'm moving on to Jill Stein. If he's not on the ballot, then it'll be Jill Stein. So that's kind of up to superdelegates to decide now.
Oh, well, here's your voice. You're obviously a Bernie guy. Is there something you'd like to tell Bernie because he's listening?
I told him already. I said thank you. That's it.
Are you not upset about him endorsing Hillary at all?
Wow. No,
You think he was paid off or threatened?
No, I believe he just knows if he wants to stay relevant and not be, pretty much ostracized within Congress, he's got to work with them.
Well, he's out of it, isn't he? Is he retired?
He hasn't said.
He's got nothing to lose. He's never really been a part of the Democrat Party. He's an independent. Yeah. So he owes them nothing, and they've obviously cheated him now that the email scandal's been broken open.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why it's like all these different things is why I'll never support her. So, if he feels that he's most useful, backing that's on him. I can't speak for him. So all I know is I don't have to work with him, so I'm not going to give him my vote.
What do you think about Bernie endorsing Hillary?
You want that one?
Oh, that's a tough
Whoever
one.
Doesn't matter.
That's a really tough one, I think, to be in the party and be on the floor of the convention. It's a job he had to do. I don't think it was his choice. And if you listen to him this morning talk about how if Hillary gets the nod, we should all vote for Hillary, he was almost booed off his own stage. Right. We are not voting for Hillary. We're not voting for Trump. We're prepared for President Trump. That's not what we want. But we're prepared for it because we won't vote for Hillary.
We'll take a bullet for Bernie, but we won't vote for Hillary for Bernie, for anybody.
Even if he doesn't become the president, he's done so much to make the younger generations politically aware and active and pushing them to move forward as Democrats in the future, and also just to push Hillary Clinton's agenda far, far more to the left than she would have been otherwise. Do
you think that's the way we need to go is to the left or get outside the box?
Whatever Europe's doing.
Well, that's interesting because you got the Brexit, and then you might see other countries following suit. So they're kind of going from that sort of big...
Sorry, can I clarify? Whatever Scandinavia is doing.
I think Sweden might be popping out of there, too. It might be a lot of countries bailing and being more independent because they're not...
They still have the highest, rate of happiness in the entire world. That might be going down right now. And also, Finland has the best education in the world. So if we can take some clues from them, I think we can just be overall better. Everybody has their problems, but we certainly have more than Sweden right now.
What about Switzerland?
Switzerland's dope.
Okay. That's totally different, but it's still doing very successful. Kind of a small government, different policy, maybe. We'll look into it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll look into it.
A united party has more of a chance of beating Trump than a party that's divided between Hillary and Bernie. So I think, personally, my personal opinion, is that he tried to draw his supporters towards Hillary to get more votes for Hillary so that we can beat Trump in the election.
But it's not working.
But it's not working because we have huge divides in the party, as being shown in our streets when there's a lot of still Bernie, never Hillary folks out here claiming their allegiance to Bernie and to Jill Stein, and breaking from the Democratic establishment.
I still support Bernie. I don't think he's a sellout because I feel like he was stuck in a hard place because he has to go back to work with these people in this, in Congress.
Isn't he retiring? I'm sorry. I'm not 100%.
No, I haven't heard anything about him retiring.
I thought he was going to step down, but he's going to run for president because the Democrats had nobody else to even throw at him. Because he's an independent. He owes the party nothing.
Yeah, well, from what I've heard from his interviews, he ran basically because he didn't see any progressive running. He was not going to run if Elizabeth Warren ran, but since she did not run, he was like, well, there's no one else that's going to do it, so let me do it.
Do you think his supporters should listen to him, or do you then join the dark side, or should they find another candidate?
I would normally say F no, but I don't know if this is I can actually curse on this, but,
yeah, go ahead.
So fuck no, because Hillary is still I personally believe that, but I personally believe she's worse than Trump. Where Trump is outwardly hateful, Hillary is kind of behind the doors hateful.
Anything you'd like to tell Bernie if he's out there listening?
Yes. Get out of the Democratic
Please
Party
join the third party, go green, and join Jill Stein. We'd love to do and vote for that.
And we'll vote for you if you do that.
Or you think has she picked a running mate yet, or can she pick Bernie?
She would like to have Bernie, so she's offered it to him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, twice.
Yes.
She said she's ready again to when this is done, he can join with her, and we wish he would.
Even after he endorsed Hillary, that still didn't make me want to vote for her. Just because he endorsed her, it's not going to change my mind. I wasn't planning on voting for her at all.
All right, I'd just like to say that, while this here is saying against Clinton and Trump, it's not necessarily for Bernie. I don't believe people should be writing in Bernie. I believe that if anything, we should be voting for third parties. And even if a third party doesn't actually make it, what's extremely important is getting enough percentage of the vote for the third parties for them to achieve minor party recognition. It increases ballot access for down-ticket candidates in both the Green and Libertarian Party. Right here in Pennsylvania, neither the Greens or the Libertarians are recognized as a minor party. They need to have at least 5% of the vote to be able to be recognized in a national election. So if we can get Jill Stein and hopefully both Gary Johnson that 5% this election, then that will increase the chances for third-party candidates up and down the party ticket to be able to be there.
But I do think that people should be pushing for the 5% that the third party needs to have proper representation and federal funding overall, so they can be on more ballots.
Right, I agree with you. I think it's 15% in 5 national polls just to make the debates. Yeah, they make it almost impossible for them to get a voice out there. All right, so is there anything you want to tell Hillary or the DNC, Debbie, or anybody?
Step down, both of you. You're corrupt.
If I had something to say to Hillary,
Or DNC Debbie, or the DNC in general.
Debbie and Hillary are disappointments to women everywhere. They're a disappointment to Democrats everywhere, and they should be ashamed of themselves. However, they are just humans, so, who knows what situations they were put in, but they should be ashamed of themselves.
If you found out they weren't human, would you be surprised? It was V, and they took off their human masks, and they were actually lizards or robots?
I believe that Hillary might be a robot constructed like the Hillary 3000. However, I do think that Debbie's a real person. Maybe it's just because of her curly hair, but I can kind of relate to her.
She's a useful idiot. They kind of use her.
She's definitely a pawn. Yeah. I mean, they found somebody who was already kind of in works with the DNC and was like, hey, I need you to be super gung-ho about Hillary, but just keep it on the hush-hush. Yeah. Yeah, and then she after this convention, she's going to resign and she's going to become. That's just kind of her collateral. They were like, "Hey, we'll let you do real work if you just kind of fudge all the stuff for us."
Right. And she was pretty much just working for her the whole time, anyway.
Oh, I mean, obviously. I mean, we all knew that, but the world didn't. So that's just kind of where the problem lies.
So screw you, DNC. Screw you, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Screw you, Hillary, and screw you, everyone on Hillary's campaign.
Forgot what my last question was. That was video editing.